If you know anything about the work that we do at Tomorrow Today, you'll probably know us for adaptive leadership. My colleague and I, Keith Coates, wrote a book called Leading in a Changing World a number of years ago. We've updated it a few times through COVID and now for the world after that. We're experts at understanding adaptability and how to be adaptive leaders. But we're coming to think now that maybe we need to move beyond that. Maybe this concept of anti-fragility is even more important. You see, we've spent a few years deep in crisis, dealing with serious disruptions. A lot of our clients and a lot of you realized there was opportunity in that disruption. We were forced into probably the greatest experiment in workplace culture in human history. And many of us have survived. Productivity and survival is masking exhaustion, I think. But yes, we made it through and we realized that we are more adaptable, more responsive to change than maybe we could have ever imagined. But now, instead of trying to get rid of disruption, instead of trying to get back to the way that things were, we believe we need to move on to this concept of anti-fragility. Let me explain what it is. First of all, let's give credit. I hate giving credit like this because I came up with this idea and our team at Tomorrow Today has been working on this stuff for years and years, but Nassim Nicholas Taleb had our original idea before we did. Back in 2010, he wrote this book, and it's a tough book to read, I'll be honest, but it's good stuff. And it's a brilliant concept. So thank you, Nassim, for this. And if you enjoy wading through books, get hold of his. The concept, remarkable. We know what fragile is, but anti-fragile, we don't have that word. Because fragile means if you hit it, it will break. If you drop it, it will smash. Resilient or robust is what we often think is the opposite. So if you hit something, it won't break. If you drop it, it doesn't smash. But, taking a hit, falling on the floor, picking yourself up, dusting yourself off, that's resilience, yeah, but you're still taking a hit and maybe getting bruised in the process. What we really want is a system where when you take a hit, you get stronger. It's not just being able to survive, it's actually being able to thrive in tough times. It's things that gain through disorder, get better during chaos, and improve during disruption. Sounds wonderful, right? Is there such a thing? Well, I think that there is, and I think it's actually all around us. For example, in your own body, there is anti-fragility in your muscles. Those of you who go to the gym and do weights to develop your muscles, and I say those of you because, well, it might be clear that that's not me. I'm a runner, and runners, cyclists, our goal is to run further than we've run before, run faster. Sometimes both. The same thing applies. If you push yourself, whether it's with weights or running or cycling or whatever, you push yourself, you'll feel your muscles getting sore. It's not just lactic acid, but it's actually you can tear your muscles in a good way as it happens. Tiny little tears that stretch your muscles, and then you've got to give your muscles time to recover. And when they recover, they grow back a little bit stronger. And so you can run further, you can run faster, or you can lift up more weights. Now, if you're not concentrating and you aren't trying to take notes, I've already given you 4 principles during this little example. All of my examples are going to be filled with principles. Stress the system, but not too much. If you overstress it, you'll injure yourself. Try to lift up too many weights, try to run too far, too fast. You'll injure yourself, you'll be out for a few weeks while you recover. So that's not what we want. But then talking of recovering, you stress yourself just enough, give yourself time to recover, you'll get better. If you're taking notes, there's lots of principles there. Right, another example, trees. If you plant a tree indoors and you let it grow, by the time it gets to about 2 meters, it's going to fall over. yeah, you'd need to put a nice stiff pole up to hold it up, which, well, it's a tree. It should be able to look after itself. But what it needed as it was growing, and what it needs as it gets older, is it needs some wind to push at it, a little bit of weather in its system. Again, not too much. You don't want a hurricane coming through, uprooting the tree, knocking it over, breaking it, killing it, but just enough so that the tree creaks. It actually tears the branches, tears the tree trunk, and then it can grow back stronger. And then you get a nice strong tree that can live for decades and centuries. Now, if you prefer business examples, the MBA language here is sector adaptation when individuals fail. Okay, let's give an example to explain. In the airline industry, if a plane crashes, so there's an individual failure in the system, immediately investigators are sent out to collect the black box, which is actually bright orange. They get it, they look at the data, they then work out what went wrong. They share that information with the rest of the industry. Again, if you're taking notes, there's some principles here. And the other airlines take that information. One plane failed, the industry gets safer. Obviously, ideally, you don't want to be the plane that crashes, obviously. But you can learn and become anti-fragile. Some of you would prefer this in graph format, so let's do it that way. Here's a graph. So this is the stress in the system. This is the strength of the organization or the person or your team. So let's hit it. Okay, there's some kind of disruption or break point. So in a fragile system, you hit it, boom, strength goes out and it never recovers. In a resilient or robust system, take a hit, you come back quite quickly, and you get back to where you were before. You know what the next slide is, right? The anti-fragile system is, yeah, you take a little bit of a hit, but boom, immediately you develop strength. You get better, you gain from disorder. I think we should go a step further than that, and I don't think Taleb talks about this, so here's my addition to the system. Wouldn't it be great if we could skip the break point completely? And I think that what would happen is that we would need to develop anti-fragile systems. We'd need to build in the characteristics of being anti-fragile into our systems. And then once we're sort of confident we've got that, I think we can reverse engineer back and say, well, it isn't just about being able to take a hit. It isn't just about being able to take a hit and come back stronger. Maybe we can dodge the hit, right? Maybe we can make sure we don't even get hit in the first place. That's probably the ultimate version of antifragility. So antifragility is more than resilience. We need to be resilient in order to be anti-fragile. But I don't know about you. I'm tired of being resilient. It's been a hard few years, and I'm tired of being knocked down. And yes, we get up again. Nothing's going to keep me down. You can't really say that, hey? I sung that in my head. But, resilience, we need more than that. This is more than just risk management and having your risk protocols in place. It's about trying to anticipate that what might happen and remove that risk from the system. And it's more than just adaptability. I'm a student of adaptability. I'm a passionate student of adaptive leadership, and I think there's a lot to learn from that, and kind of anti-fragility just takes adaptability and adaptive leadership and takes it one step further. But it's more than all of those things. It's this ability to get stronger during disruption, which means, and now maybe I'm pushing things a bit too far, it means that you might even look forward to disruption. You might even anticipate chaos with a bit of excitement rather than fear. Ayrton Senna was one of the greatest Grand Prix drivers of all time, Formula One Grand Prix, and probably the greatest wet weather driver. When it was raining, he was just in a class of his own. And he said, you can't overtake 15 cars when it's sunny. but you can when it's raining. And so maybe antifragility can set us up for something that we can even not just be ready for, but excited. Now, how would we do that? Well, obviously you realize that this video is about me talking to you about the work that our team at Tomorrow Today does. So the best thing that you could do is to contact us for more information. But I don't want to just leave you there. Let me give you 3 things at least that you can work on. And if it's easy for you to remember, let's call these the head, the heart, and the hands of what you can do. So the head piece of the puzzle, and there's a lot more that we could say, but this is enough to get you started, right? Do these 3 things, head, heart, and hand, and you'll be in much better shape than you are right now. So the head part of it is this. We've got to stretch our people's strategic imaginations. People, our brains, all of us, are programmed to see the world as it is. It's called confirmation bias. Your brain is desperate to prove what you already believe right. And so that's just the way it's programmed. It's not a criticism or a critique. It's literally just who you are. But what that means is it's very difficult for us to imagine deep structural change. It's difficult for us to anticipate serious disruption because we expect the world to, improve or change slightly here or there. But deep structural change takes us by surprise almost every time it happens. And surprise is not helpful. It's not a great business strategy. I mean, surprises are lovely, birthday presents, Christmas presents, whatever, but it's not great for business. And so we need to try and remove surprise. And the way you do that is not to get better at predicting what might happen, because nobody can predict the future. What it is to expand your imagination of what you believe is possible. In MBA language, we might here be talking about scenarios and scenario planning, identifying possible high road and low road, to quote my friend Clem Sunter. But it's more than that. It's what if thinking, and it's strategic imagination. What you can do with your team is allocate a few minutes every week to expand strategic imagination. At our team, we do it every Thursday with a Throw Forward Thursday video. We jump into the future, we imagine what might have happened, we put together a fake news bulletin from the future, and then we try and show you what it might look like, not just in the future, but the implications of what it might mean for us today, what it might mean for your industry. We do that for free, so sign up to my YouTube channel for the Throw Forward Thursday playlist in your inbox every Thursday for free forever. Well, as long as we keep doing it. So expand your team's strategic imagination, expand their thinking. That's the head. Now, the heart part of it is really got to do with your engagement with your people. As I said earlier, people might have survived COVID, but they've done so in a way that has exhausted them. There are very few people I know who are not exhausted at the moment. That's a sign that you've put your heart and soul in the game. Well done, congratulations. And I hope you're rewarding your people for all of their effort and energy. But we've also just got to be honest and realize we can't keep going at this pace. What a tragedy to survive COVID and then die of a heart attack in the next year or two. And I think some people are going to. In fact, I know some people have. So what we need to do is we need to make sure we look after our people more. Now, I'm not giving you or your people permission to be lazy. Please don't hear that. Of course not. Work hard, put everything in, build your career, go for it. But if you really do want innovation, if you really do want adaptability, if you really do feel resilience is important, and if I came to your company's offices, would I see posters with those words on your walls? Innovation, adaptability, agility, resilience, grit, all of those good things. I think I might. Well, if you want all of those things, how do you think you're going to get them if everybody is already working at 100%? because I'm an accountant by training, I'm resisting saying 110%, but I actually think a lot of people are giving you 110, 120%. They're working overtime hours, they're working weekends and evenings, and it's all just to keep up with the work that they've got. And if there's no excess capacity, where is your innovation going to come from? Oh, sorry, yes, you've scheduled a brainstorm session Tuesday, 2 weeks' time from 9:30 to 11. Well, let's hope innovation has also read your calendar and arrives at the same time. And when you need adaptability requires a little bit of moving space so that you can try things and move things. And, well, maybe because I'm an accountant, I like graphs. I don't know if this is an accountant's graph, but here it is. The things that you think will make you more productive and a better contributor to your team is more work. Another hour of work, another 2 meetings attended, another 3 messages responded to, so on and so on. Actually, in reality, and I know you know this, so I don't need to prove this to you or show you all the research. Yes, don't be lazy, do the hard work, but also take time for thinking. Congratulations on watching this video. If you even get to this point, you are better than 90% of people, because most people have like a 3-minute threshold for watching videos now. So they don't give themselves any time for thinking. I mean, we even think a TED talk is a long talk now, and that's 12 minutes. It's ridiculous. Time for learning and for development. If you are not reading, you shouldn't be leading. But I don't know of very few leaders who are reading at the moment. And if they are doing it in their spare time. This is not your spare time here, healthy living, relaxation. This is, I think, a good work day. Now, I think the ratios here are a little bit out, but we're making a point. The time for refreshing and relaxation, the time for review, the time for planning, the time for thinking, the time for learning and development is not the weekend and your personal time. It should be part of your job, part of what you're paid to do. Okay, now I am getting into a little bit more of the detail, but I think you see what I'm meaning. Look after your team, think differently about, the word I use is peak performance. It's not about productivity or efficiency anymore, but about peak performance, which requires us to think a bit differently about how we break up the day. The final piece then is hands. So we've done head, strategic imagination. We've done heart, look after your people and get peak performance from them. And they'll reward you with passion and discretionary effort. The hands is, well, experimentation. Because the ladder to success is not filled with successes. The ladder to success is filled with experiments. It's because we live in such an unpredictable and crazy, chaotic world with disruption coming at us from all sides that we're not going to be able to just sit around a desk in the executive suite and think up the policies and procedures and systems that will take us to the future. We're going to have to try stuff and see what works. I'm not talking about big experiments that will blow up your business if they don't work. I'm talking about small, constant upgrades, improvements, tweaks, and sometimes fails and wrong turns and dead ends and quick adjustments so that your team is used to constantly trying things to see what works best. And if you do all of that, you will have started on your journey to becoming anti-fragile. If we had 3 hours, we could do more. If we had 3 days, we could do more. If we worked a journey together, we could do the most. But what we need to be doing is making sure that we change our language in the next year. As we look ahead to whatever planning you're doing over the next little while, I think the word anti-fragile needs to be part of your vocabulary. Bring it in, talk about it as individuals, think about it as teams, plan for it as organizations. It means that we see disorder as something positive. We see disruption as causing improvement and growth and development in our systems. And maybe, just maybe, we're excited for chaos and disruption in the future. If this has been interesting and you want more information, feel free to follow me on my socials. Make sure you connect with our team at Tomorrow Today Global. that website, tomorrowtodayglobal.com. This is what we do, and this is what we help people like you to get right. So be in contact with us. We love to help you, show you what we've seen, and help you walk a journey to becoming more anti-fragile in your life and your work. All the best for the year that lies ahead.